about 30 seconds, about 40 seconds, minute 40 seconds into the video. I wasn't going to talk, but it's too weird. So we're going through Leatherwood Road right now. And the camera's probably shaking. It's on a phone mount that's on the dash. That way I can do this hands off. And this Dodge truck rides like a dadgum log truck, so it just doesn't help the fact that the camera is probably going to be just a tad bit shaky, and I apologize. It's the only bad thing about these Dodges. They just really ride like poop. But this one here is probably kind of my fault because it needs some ball joints and struts and shocks, and I've got rear shocks in it already. But it just needed a lot of work for a long time that I've not done. But as you see, we just entered the Big South Fork. Speed limit drops to 35. And I'm going to show you guys from this point to the Blevins farms. I brought the Ford over here, that 85 Ford of mine. I brought it over here the other day. And got all the way over here across this river, down these mountains that I'm fixing to show you. And that's whenever the brakes decided to go out. So I had to negotiate this mountain with no brakes at all. So this is a new way that I thought of in my head of creating videos. If it's not too shaky, I would like to continue this. But we're going to go and I'm going to show you the Blevins farms and where they're at from this point. We're on Leatherwood Road, Leatherwood Ford Road at the moment. And the speed limit's fixing to drop to 20, and we're fixing to drop off a pretty good little gorge that we call River Mountain around here. It's pretty bad, honestly. When I came over here, there was still snow on it, just a little bit. And I'll be honest with you, it was kind of sketchy coming off of this. Yeah, it looks like the road just ends. It kind of does. It drops straight off right here. So we're going to slow down just a little bit. We're going to start going down this mountain as safely as we can. But yeah, I did not like coming. I come up this side. The side that I'm fixing to start up is the side that I had to come down with no brakes, and it was pretty sketchy, to say the least. There's a lot of turns. It's pretty steep, and it's just kind of wild down here. When I was a kid, my dad and I would always come down here and hang around, and because we lived on Leatherwood Road. But I won't be showing any of that, just for safety concern. There's been too many people already thinking that we're welcoming people when it comes to our properties. We're really not. Try to keep it slow. That's the trick to this mountain. Just try to keep it slow. If something does go wrong, you can push it down in gear, first gear or something, and let it hold itself back. But really, unless you turn and go up the side of the road there's really nothing you can do about it. Because the video doesn't give it justice. This is very steep. And you'll see that whenever we start up the other side. This is where I grew up and spent most of my childhood, was down here. Right straight back, if you're looking straight, like the road's going straight, there's a really old coal mine back in there. And there's a bunch of cars that was laying on the side of the cliff, just really old. One of them looked like a Packard, like a really old Packard. But it's just laying on the side of the cliff over there. Don't know why, don't know how they ended up there, but that's where they're at. But my neighbor actually hauled coal out of that mine years and years and years ago, back before the Park Service bought this and, you know, freshened it up a bit. I'd say this road was really bad back in the day before that. I'd say it wasn't nothing to play around with. I'm going to adjust this camera upward. I'm going to have to loosen it up to do that. And it's a nasty rainy day. I was hoping that it was going to be pretty and warm. It's 51 degrees still yet. And it's the 31st of January. Yesterday was my birthday, my 27th birthday. And right down off to the right is Leatherwood Ford River. We're crossing the bridge now. I do not have any way of turning the camera without loosening a bunch of stuff. I've got it set kindly where I want it. It's not exactly straight. Maybe I can make an extra mount to make that a little more solid. I'll figure that out later on. But this is the side that I came down. You can tell that it gets kind of hairy. This is I turned the steering wheel 2.5 times right there. Now we're going up. When I was a kid, a big rig went off right there, that gravel spot. It was coming down the road opposite of us, and I guess it lost its brakes. I remember that very vaguely when I was little. This is a very steep mountain, and it was extremely sketchy coming off of this with no brakes, with still white on the road. It only had just snowed a couple of weeks ago, if that. It might have been a week ago. It was 0 degrees and snowing, and now it's 51 degrees and raining. It just, this place around here is kind of, I don't know, it has mood swings when it comes to the weather. I'm going to turn the heat on. It might be a little loud for a minute, but I got to get some of this fog off the windows. Now we make a right. Turn on the Bandy Creek Road. Speed limit here is 35. Right down this road's where that truck decided it didn't want to have any brakes. Right as soon as you get to the Blevins farm, which I'll show you, I hit the brakes and there just wasn't any. So then I had to stop right there and check my brake fluid. I still had brake fluid, so I didn't understand what was going on, so I just eased out and come back. And I think it was right on this curve. I just bowed up and stopped because it was pulling the wheel off to the driver's side. And I thought, man, this is going to be a wild trip. And it was. It was something. I did not care much for it. I don't really want to go through that again. Trying to keep the rain off the windshield. It just got pretty heavy. If you're looking to move to Tennessee, be ready for this 90% of the year. That's about all it does rain around here. So we're going on about almost 13 minutes. Honestly thought it would take a little bit longer to get over here, but I guess not. Alright, I'm going to slow down, read the sign. Now entering Bandy Creek. This is where a lot of people come and camp. And there's hiking trails, and there's another farm called the Litton Slavin Farm. And I think I might have a video, I'm not sure, but it's another old farm. If you turn right up here and you go back down into the mountain, it's way back in there. Old cabin stuff still there. I'm just going to keep it slow, so you guys can kind of take in what's going on here. This is Bandy Creek. Right off to the left in this big field, they do an annual haunting in the hills is what it's called. And they'll set up a big tent and everybody will sit around in that field and they tell ghost stories. And it's in September, sometime in September. So if you guys are into the paranormal and ghost tales and cryptid tales like I am, you probably really enjoy going to that event. I usually don't, just because I'm not much of a people person, and there's usually a lot of people at that event. Now we're going to slow down because we're hitting some gravel, and I know that that's going to mess the phone up. But we're going to ease through here, and I'm going to show you the Litton Farms, and, well, not the Litton Farms, but the Blevins Farms. They're pretty neat. They're historical. They're protected by the Historical Society. There's a lot to them, really. There's a lot of history. Like the Oscar Blevins Farm still has the original farmhouse that they had back in the 1800s. It's kind of dilapidated. It's wanting to fall down, but it's still there. And the way the world's going, I feel like somebody needs to document old stuff like that, because I'm sure it ain't gonna be around till our kids are older. So we'll all have something, some kind of video to go back and show our kids. Say, hey, this was, that place. So I'm sorry about the shaky camera. I'm gonna try to sturdy it up after this video. Like I said, I'm very sorry. This is something that I just conjured up. That way I don't have to sit and hold the phone. I can concentrate on driving and talking. Because I start doing all that, it's going to turn into a mess. So just bear with me. Right here, as soon as the trees end on the right side, this is the Laura Blevins Farms. and there is a family cemetery here. I won't record just out of respect. The far right building right there is the original cabin, and then they've got a few little barns off to the left of that. They do a spring planting thing over here, and I think that they plant all these Blevins farms in the spring with something. I'm not sure. I've never been to it, but there's that. So that has some pretty old graves in it, but most of the family I personally know, and out of respect, I won't go to that one and show off anything. I will show you guys my family cemetery. It's not really my family cemetery, but all my family is pretty much buried there. I will show you guys that someday. It's down on the other side of the river, back on the other side of the river. But this sign right here says, leaving the Scott State Forest. So I'm thinking that Laura Blevins Farms is in Scott County. Oscar Blevins Farms is in Morgan County, or not Morgan, but Fentress County. Now, I could be wrong. It could be Morgan County. All these counties kind of combine into one, like at the right place. There's a place as you're going through Robbins, Tennessee, where you'll go into Morgan County for about a mile, and then you're in Fentress County again. It's weird. They're all kind of bunched up together right there in a weird way. I'm very sorry about the shaky camera. It might not be as bad when I'm watching it. The truck's shaking with it, so and this looks like a pretty good road, but it's really not. It's kind of bumpy. Okay, off to the right here, there's a road that I've never taken because I'm not sure what it is. I'm not sure if it's open to anything. Usually they have a sign that says, this is open to Jeeps, cars, or just hikers and bikers or whatever. That one doesn't have a sign showing anything, as far as I know. So that's pretty much what it is. Just me getting out, getting off by myself, and I'm gonna start making videos like this if you guys enjoy it. If you guys have any questions about anything in East Tennessee that you want to see a road trip to from where to where, I will use this and I will make that video. I'm open to suggestions. I'm sorry. I'm wanting to start my YouTube back up, and I'm wanting to start doing it just a little better. And here we are. We cut right off to the left here, and you see through the tree line the big open fields. And you ease down through here to make sure there isn't no one here. It probably doesn't want to be on YouTube. Don't look like it. I was making TikTok videos, but they deleted that. So, I mean, I'm not really complaining. So, right behind this is the old house. Authorized vehicles only. Roll the window down. Back up right here. I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you want to see any more, like, subscribe, tell me in the comments. I really enjoy showing off where I come from. So, y'all take care, and I hope you enjoy the video.